Hey guys, Naz here. I wanted to do a video post as a follow-up to a post I wrote a couple of weeks ago on my blog, naztheblog.com. The post was called The Downside to Finding Your Guiding Principle. If you haven't read it, check it out. And if you don't know what a guiding principle is, what your guiding principle is, and you want an exercise to potentially find out what that may be, that article can also be found on my blog. So I wanted to do this follow-up video because the post about the downside to finding your guiding principle got some traction and people had some questions and comments, and I wanted to cover those. So the downside to finding your guiding principle or making changes so that you align yourself more with a version of yourself that may not be the one that you have been for a long time, is that you will lose people, or your relationship with friends, family members, or even a spouse or a child will become a little bit strained. And so the reason for that is because they will feel fear, right? They will become fearful of the changes that you're going through because their brains have done what they're meant to do, which is compartmentalize you, right? We know this about the brain. We know that we meet people and that immediately within a couple of seconds, we have judged them and we've kind of filed them somewhere in our brain. So when people become fearful because they've compartmentalized you somewhere and now you're changing and they don't know where to file you, what they do is they speak out of fear, right? So they'll say things like, what are you doing? You're being really silly, or you're going through some kind of quarter life or midlife crisis, or this isn't who you are, what are you trying to do, etc. Things that will really impact someone who is going through changes and loves the person telling them this will be this can be detrimental a lot of times, which leads me to my next point. Just because someone is portraying their fear in the context of comments or just overall negativity toward you does not mean that it's a sign for you to stop doing what you're doing. It's not a sign to stop. It's keep going. Change is good. There's positive things on the other side of change. So don't let people's commentaries or feelings get in the way of changes that are going to be better for you and that align better with the person that you are now than who you used to be. Which brings me to my third and final point, which is that it's not your job to hold people's hands through changes. Unless, of course, this is your child, then that's kind of your job, right? You have to hold their hand as things change. But other than that, don't put the additional weight on yourself of feeling that you have to walk people through them processing their emotions. That is not your job. You are already going through enough, changing things about yourself and asking yourself questions and making changes. It's already a lot that you're taking on. If this is an adult in your life, it is not your job to walk them and hold their hand through the changes you're going through. It is their job. It is the job of self. So I love you. Keep going with the things that you're doing. And if you can't find people to support you through changes, then reach out to me. I'll find a way to support you and give you positive feedback and comments and keep you going. All right, bye guys.